I gotta wait. How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
Welcome to the share, where Miss Dream always has a story.
It's Dream, and we got a season 2. Your Black Bostonian here, a product of a single mother who I work to make proud every single day. I'm a 3-degree holder, your veteran educator, your tech entrepreneur, and founder of the Chair platform. My platform is dedicated to supporting Black and Brown people on their hair journey by creating hair boards, connecting to hairstylists, and sharing haircare tips for a more joyous experience. My podcast is about sharing hair stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and stories surrounding identity with goals to leave you laughing, learning, and advocating. So come in and listen to the stories in the chair.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Check 1, check 2, check 3. What is this? Serious business. Want to hear my rap from when I was 15?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
My name is Nizzy. I like to get busy. I rock your world and make you so dizzy. 1985. Classic right there. You know nothing about that. You wasn't a twinkle in my eye.
All right, my.
Hello, daughter.
Hello, Okay, see, I don't even start my regular introductions with you.
We'll fix it. You can't. I'm the mother.
Hello, beautiful people. This is my mother. Mommy, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello. My name is Nicole Flynt, the mother of Jadrima and Irea Flynt, the daughter of Virginia Brown, and granddaughter of Julia.
How did yoga help you see that? How were you able to find your authentic self on the mat?
First of all, yoga for me knew how to talk to me. I'm a tough love person, so yoga had to talk to me that way. So I'm on a mat with a wig, and you remember I used to do a full face too. Full face.
Yeah, my mom had hair always done, makeup was always done, all the outfits always done. It was a very big fight in the house all the time for myself. And
Still is. We're working on her.
We always had big arguments about appearance, which led into arguments about feminism, which led into arguments about education. And it was all wrapped in societal beliefs about womanhood
Yes.
and girlhood.
Wow. I helped shape this podcast when you was a child. I mean, think about it, right? When someone looks at you, presentation, like I've always said, your whole life is 50%. People are going to judge you. I don't care who you are.
When we were kids, she used to say 90%. I just need that to be on the record.
Wow, did I say 90?
Yeah, we were kids.
I was right. It's 90%. Did I say 90? That's hilarious, but it is 90. Yeah, but I'm serious. People are looking at you like, all the time, regardless of where you go. Why do you think you wear suits to court? Why do you dress like that for an interview when you're getting on a plane? Why? Because you can't go to an interview in a hoodie and some sweatpants and be like, what's up? They're looking at you like you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to take you seriously. So you have to play the role, unfortunately.
And while you were on the mat, you couldn't hide anything from yourself. Is that how you would describe it?
Yes. So yoga means to yoke you to you first, before it's you to the universe and all that other jazz. It's yoking you to you. Who are you? So when you're on that mat, and I was hot, and I remember I took the wig off first. Then I'm in a child pose or in a pose where my forehead is on the mat, and I get up, and there's a stain on my mat because that's my makeup on my mat. Okay, now I know to take my makeup off. Then I'm sweating. So I have my wig off, my makeup's off, but I'm holding on to my eyelashes. But I'm sweating. So one of them decides to fall off. Fuck, now I got to take them both off. Now, who am I? Who's looking at me? Why are you looking at me? I didn't like the way my face looked without a full face of makeup. And my hair, oh my gosh. But then I had to really, or yoga had to really bitch slap me a little bit. And here I am. No makeup, no eyelashes, no wig, doing poses for the world to see. And it was the most scariest thing I ever had to do.
What keeps you going
Doing yoga?
when it started off to be so scary?
Yoga saved my life, period. There was a time where you were in school. Your sister was in New York following her modeling career. I had just got separated / divorced. And I was in this house and there was nobody here. Shadow was here, which is our dog. And Cat was here, which is our cat. So Cat and dog were here because that's what I actually call them. But Cat and dog wasn't thinking about me. And the house was dark all the time. And it was just me, Cat. And I said, this shit is stupid. I'm off this. I don't want to be here. This is dumb. And I was going to jump off the sidewalk. But yoga said, not yet, homie. Not yet. And this is before me doing a yoga teacher training or a YTT. This is before me becoming a teacher. I was just practicing with Teresa Okokin. And Teresa came to me and said, hey. Oh, and I lost my job. Shit, yeah. I mean, I had no job. I had no kids. I had no husband. I had nobody. I had nothing. This was the empty nester syndrome that I kept hearing about. Everybody was out living their lives. So there was no need for me anymore. I had no need. I was not the community organizer extraordinaire. I wasn't the wonderful housewife or wife. I was never in the house. And I wasn't the mom anymore. I was a mom, yeah. I had kids, but my kids were grown and gone. And left me with a dog and a fucking cat. I don't even like cats, for real. What the fuck do you do? I'm out of here. The aliens wasn't coming to get me. I done sent up signals. So I was like, all right, fine. But then Teresa one day came to me and said, you should be a yoga teacher. And I laughed. I said, who, me? Of all people in the world, me. And how do you do it? Do I just run around doing yoga? Like, what do you do? And she was like, no, you got to go to school for it. I was like, go to school? There's a yoga school? She was like, yeah, how do you think I do it? I said, I just thought you went around doing it. I don't know. So she told me yoga school costs $3,000 for a 200-hour. That's the first certificate. It costs $3,000. Now, I just told y'all, I lost my job. Don't have no husband. Kids is gone. I got a whole house, a car. So I got mortgage, a car note, and now you're telling me I got to find $3,000 to pull out my ass to become a what? A curvy black yoga teacher that's bald head with no makeup and no eyelashes. You gotta be fucking kidding me. But I found a way. She gave me a partial scholarship. So she put up the $1,500 and she said, you come up with $1,500. And I found a way. And I went to my first YTT, yoga teacher training, at Four Corners Yoga Studio, RIP. The physical space is gone. I think they're doing some online stuff. Yeah. And that was the most grueling, what was it, 8, 9, 10, almost a year. It was grueling. It was horrible. It was the most, how I can explain the YTT was that it felt like someone flipped me inside out. And I could feel every wild. And the people I met who were in the room, who I would never have ever spoken to a day in my life, I called us the Breakfast Club. If you remember that movie, again, from the 80s. You know, when they put a bunch of people in a room.
For detention?
But they would never speak to each other. There was the nerd, there was the burnout, the popular girl. So you had that same dynamic in this room. I swear to God, it's the same. It was crazy. to look around at all these different people, white, black, didn't matter, white, black, rah, rah, different social incomes, and it was wild sitting in there and watching it unfold. And then here I come. What y'all doing here? Why everybody got a rock and I don't got one? That's before I knew about crystals for real. Everybody had a crystal. They were pulling them out their bras and out there. Wow, yo, hey, where y'all get these from? Y'all found them outside? I mean, it was crazy, and that's how my name came. Not your average yoga teacher, because I was not like them. I didn't come equipped with a wand and a crystal, and I was like, yo, y'all are bugging. What's up? They're talking in Sanskrit, which, respectfully, the people I'm teaching don't know that. So why am I going to talk that? That's dumb. So it was interesting. It was truly, truly a blessing in disguise.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hair boards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new, joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hair boards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the Chair. We got you.
No stress, no strife. In the chair. The chair. The chair. All right.
Switching directions just a little bit. You are my mother, and I've talked to many mothers on the podcast, and they talk about their relationship to their own hair and how they decide to raise their kids. And so I wanted to talk about the things that you decided when it came to raising us and how you helped us on our hair journey.
No creamy crack. No creamy crack. You're mad at that. No creamy crack. Y'all didn't have a perm never. Ever.
We did not have perms. Mommy did not allow perms. Her argument was, you can get a perm when you can take care of it. And she said you couldn't get a perm until you were 18 and not living in her house.
That's right.
So I was not a part of
the creamy crack era.
No, I was not.
You didn't have creamy crack. You didn't have wigs.
I didn't have wigs. I got a weave, which was just braids, for the first time when I was 14. And I received my first sew-in for my 8th grade graduation. The first time I could dye my hair wasn't until I was 16.
And she dyed it fire engine red.
Before that, I had streaks because Mommy let me get streaks first.
Oh, that was funny. I remember that red. I still got that picture. Ooh, child, that fire engine red. Mm-mm.
And so my mother had a lot of rules about what we could and couldn't do with our hair. And my mother's one of those black parents growing up who just said, I said what I said. She didn't give any explanation or
Absolutely not.
explain.
First of all, I you know what? Don't sit up here like this. Okay, first of all, let me explain to you. Dream was born with a head of hair, not like regular baby hair. Dream was born with an afro for real, and it was curly. I was like, where you get this hair from? Like, I had to go down the lineage to see where this hair came from. People thought that she was actually a Latinx when she was a baby, and I was like, no. She's black. And she was like, what's she mixed with? She mixed with black, but she had all this hair. So once a month, I would wash and braid Dream's hair. Not cornrows, but hundreds and hundreds of single braids because I didn't know how to cornrow with thousands of beads. Thousands of beads.
Yeah. My mom is dramatic a lot of the time, but in this case, she's not lying. We had buckets of beads in our house that we would just collect. So every time we would sit down to do our hair, we would have to go through the bucket and pick out the beads. If we wanted whatever colors we wanted, we had to sit there taking out the old aluminum foils, taking out the old rubber bands, and putting them in piles so mommy would use them.
Yeah. I was real. Yeah, we used aluminum foil and rubber bands for your ends. Only old school people know about that. We didn't have no tools. It was me and a VCR.
Yeah, so we would sit there. It would be movie day.
Yep.
And so we would watch all the movies.
That was the best.
And in this bucket, we had not only beads, but we had bollies, barrettes. It ended up becoming a piggy bank at some point.
Yeah, how did the change get in there?
I don't know.
Either. Yeah, that's why you're so good at math, because you had to count all the beads out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would be like, oh, this is 10 on each braid. Dream would have 20 beads on one braid. That's how long her hair was as an infant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dream's walking around. That's how you know Dream was coming. Not like the scary movie, like, but the because that's what she would sound like. It was cute.
And so I had beads all of my childhood. And when I started getting cornrows, it was all of mommy's best friends at the time, which I just called my aunts. And so I would go over to their house and I would sit down and get my cornrows done.
I wasn't the best corn roller.
Yeah. So that is when I had cornrows. That was when we were swimming or doing a lot of sports. And it wasn't until middle school where I started to get more pressing curls. We go to an all-girls Catholic school. This is where I'm starting to really learn what it is to be a girl in this sense. We had to wear the plaid skirts because before then, my sister was known as the girly girl. Her favorite color was pink. She had all the Barbies, while I played video games and had all my wrestlers, and I would be outside in the dirt. When I went to Mother Caroline.
You just lied to all the podcasters. You just lied, Dream.
How did I lie, boy?
You was not out in no dirt. Dream, you would have dirt on your hands and stand there and scream.
She's talking about when I was a little kid.
I had to wipe your hands off
Yeah.
because you didn't understand why your hands were dirty, so stop that lie.
She's talking about when I was very tiny. I'm talking about elementary and middle school because we lived on a dead end street and we would play in the yard and all the things.
We didn't have a yard. You were on the street.
Okay, a street.
It
we
was
had
a
a little and a dead concrete. We played in concrete.
Yes. We
And
played
then-
in fire hydrants.
And fire hydrants, yes.
Until I organized to get the park.
Yes, in
And
the
then we
backyard.
Then we
yeah.
played in the park. After we made sure, after they built it. But y'all were grown then.
Yes.
So for the people that are playing in the park right now on Dudley Terrace, thank me.
And so from there, that's when I started getting more pressing curls. I brought this up on an interview with two of my former students, talking about getting my hair pressing curls when I had to go on to my interviews for all the independent schools or private schools. And that was the first time where I started learning that there was a hair conversation that I was just unfamiliar with, or how I was being viewed, because for every interview, we only could go in our uniform. They didn't give us a choice of what to wear to our interviews. And at Mother Caroline, I had to take etiquette classes where we learned how to use every utensil in the building. We had to learn how to talk to people. We had to do all these things that we were told were just normal skills, but they were preparing us to act a certain way when entering into spaces that were predominantly white. And so it wasn't until, for me, high school where I started really thinking about my own hair as its own thing. So I'm curious to know, what were your thoughts when it came to raising Black girls about their hair?
Since your hair came out the way it did, and I was like, ooh, and she won't have a perm. She's going to have a beautiful afro. You were my little chocolate M&M, and that was going to be it. You were going to be that natural girl. Your sister, who's very light, I thought that she would come out with hair like yours. She didn't. And I was like, what hair is this? Right? Her hair was more difficult than yours, which was, you would think because she was light skinned, well, a lot of people think because you're a lot of hue that your hair is a different grade. Psych. No. Irea, or the sister, she had more of a tighter curl. You had definitely a looser curl. Your hair was easy. We wet it, put some conditioner on it. We were good. Your sister, we had to wet it, condition it, grease it, gel it, slap it down, put a scarf on it, and then put it to bed. You know what I mean? It was a couple of more steps. But regardless of how many steps, I didn't want y'all to experience the creamy crack, the smell, the burns that used to come on my scalp or on my ear, because my skin was sensitive on top of that, right? Remember, I started off with eczema. So imagine putting lye. It was horrible. I didn't want to hurt you guys.
Because we saw it happening when we went to Patsy's shop where we used to live when we were living on the dead end street. Mommy had a friend, her name was Patsy, and she owned a salon across the street. So that's where we would go every time for Easter, get our hair straightened, get the hot comb out if it wasn't being done by the neighbors upstairs with all the blue magic grease. But we would go to Patsy's, and so we would have to sit there. When you're in a Black salon, you're there all day. You don't have a choice, so you have a book. And I saw when people got perms and how they would start to fan their hair when they were like, okay, I think it's time.
Because they were getting burnt.
And they were like, no, just keep it on a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, I think we should rinse this out. I think we should rinse it out. But then there were two people at the sink, so then you still had to wait anyway. So then you can see the terror and the stress. And I would just complain when we had to get a deep tea tree oil, which is just hot oil, to help the dandruff. And I'm like, oh man, this is a lot for me. And I'm like, could you imagine if we had the perm? And Mommy would always highlight being like, you don't want that. You don't want that.
You don't want that. Nah. It was horrible to go through that. It was horrible to get that perm, put it in your hair, and don't scratch. Don't scratch before you get a perm. Because if you did, you're burnt. The burns. And if you left it on too long, your hair would fall out. It was a plethora of things that went wrong with the creamy crack. And I did not want to subject you guys to that.
What about not letting us have weave until we were teenagers? Because that was you had to be 13, or not letting us wear wigs unless we were fooling around with yours in the house.
Okay, this is where unpopular opinion. Black girls to me are over sexualized.
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion at all.
Okay. the addition of hair will bring, in my world, in my mind, it brings a fantasy to those that are looking at young girls. And that was nasty to me. We lived in the middle of the hood where pedophiles walk and roam. I mean, y'all couldn't go nowhere, but still, I didn't want people to look at you and assume you were older than what you were. So if you were 10 with beads, that's because you were 10 with beads, blowing bubbles and chewing bubble gum, skipping down the street, not having a 25 piece put in your hair. And that's just me. I wanted my young girls to be young girls, to enjoy what that is without any distractions. Because unfortunately, and I see this all the time, and people have asked me when you were younger, they would ask me if I put weave in your hair. And I would say no. They were like, well, why is her hair so long? People didn't believe me. They really thought that you had weave since you were like 2 because your hair was so long. And they couldn't put together why a dark-skinned girl had long hair. And I was like, because she does. It was this thing. And that was the fight usually that I've had privately with people about y'all's hair. Like, why don't you let them? Hell no. They're kids. Why does a kid need a weave? And then, again, this is just me. Whatever you do, hey, your baby look cute with that weave. I'm not putting a weave in my baby's hair. It's a baby. If your baby's bald-headed or has lack of hair, whatever, how do you say it nicely, Dream? How do you say it? Bald-headed. If your baby's bald-headed, then the baby's bald-headed.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Captured Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show.
There's so much shame when it comes to hair, too. There's a lot of shame if your hair doesn't look a certain way, or if it's not smooth, or if it's not wavy or curly or long or whatever. I didn't want to build that into your character.
Because I was thinking about this, because I asked a lot of Black moms about how they infuse self-love into their kids. And when I was thinking about that for myself, I was like, I don't really remember certain affirmations about my hair necessarily. It was more of my skin tone. For me, I felt like you gave a lot of affirmations to me being dark skinned because I was darker than you, because I was darker than my sister, that it was just very apparent. And that was always the arguments in the neighborhood about like, oh, you're the dark skinned kid. You're the dark skinned child. And so for me, it felt like my hair was like an afterthought. It was more of, you're the dark skin, so of course you're supposed to have an afro. The assumption that I would be dark skinned with something that wasn't an afro, that wasn't the assumption. When I think about those memories, I think about a lot of the affirmations to my skin and recognizing your hair is just your hair and your hair is big and we love how big your hair is. That's the affirmation. Every time I had an afro, you'd be like, oh, I want it to be bigger. That's the memory I have. So it was like, your skin is beautiful. I love it. Your dark skin. I love it when the sun touches your skin and you get even darker after you've been playing in the fire hydrant and your hair is huge. Love it. Those are the memories that I have that are like very apparent for me when I'm thinking back to my childhood and those affirmations that you give to me as a kid.
I love children because you guys don't see what we do as parents. Mm-hmm. I only let certain people touch your hair.
Yeah.
And that's because I knew when someone touched your hair that they would be jealous. So in your lifetime, we can count on one hand how many people have touched your hair. In your lifetime. In your 33 to 1 years of living, we can count. I knew that. So I made sure to protect you from that. But as a child, you wouldn't know what I was doing because you're a kid. I also know I kept your hair braided and in beautiful colored beads because you were going to get that look, that stare. There was a lot of envy and jealousy because of your hair growing up. But you were a kid, right? You were just running down the street, playing in the park, always. And I was a helicopter mom.
Yeah, she was.
So when someone went to pull at your hair, they kind of didn't make it. We'll just say that. It was a lot of dancing that I did because it was so rare for folks to see a dark-skinned child with hair. Yeah, you had an afro, but it wasn't a tight afro. Your afro isn't a tight 70s brown sugar. It looked like a halo, and I knew it, and I saw it. There it is. I was like, ooh, well, we better get this under control because people are going to want to touch it. They're going to want to cut it. They're going to want to get their fingers in it. And that's what I got all the time. Oh, can I? No. Can I touch your? Can I slap? All the time. Because I knew how precious your hair was. You and your sister. And we come from a family of people with hair. Nana had hair. We all had hair. All your great aunts, they all got hair. Still, to this day, they're like 80, 90. They all got hair. Your great-grandmother, even when she died, she had hair. I was surprised. She was like 99, 110, whatever, how old she was when she died. And she still had hair. I was like, uh-oh. And they roller-setted her hair for her funeral. She had little curls. Remember that? She had little curls. Oh, no, you was in China. You wasn't at that funeral. Well, anyway, she had curls. She had bumps in the coffin. She was cute. She had a little hat tilted to the side. She had little gray little wings. I was like, look at my grandmother. Yeah, so we got hair. Yes, but your hair is beautiful, as is your skin tone, as you.
Thanks, Mai. So, last question. When thinking about new Black parents who are raising Black kids, what advice do you have for them when it comes to pouring into their kids when they start recognizing their own hair journey?
It's hard. It's hard for parents now with the whole social media and all this stuff. The societal norms or societal acceptance, the likes, the instant oatmeal that is out here now. It's hard. But one thing that I do love is that now I see more people of color embracing their naturalness, which is refreshing. Don't do the creamy crack on your babies. Do not do the creamy crack on your babies.
Yeah, there's a lot of research that's out now that shows that it's connected to ovarian cancer, a lot of different types of cancers. And it starts earlier with Black kids.
Stop with the creamy crack. Take time. And to tell you the truth, those Sundays that we sat all day and watched movies and braided hair, those were good bonding time. I've watched every Land Before Time movie, Littlefoot. I know them word from word, but those were good bonding time. Bond with your kids. See what they're doing. Sit with them. Braid their hair. Twist their hair. Grease their hair. Talk to them. There's a connection there. I'm about to get all yogi on you. Your hair is your antennas. People of color, our hair grows towards the sun. Sit outside on the stoop. Do their hair in the sunlight. See it. Talk to it. Talk to all of it. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you, Mommy, so much for sitting in the chair and sharing your stories.
In the chair. Y'all didn't know I was one of them singers? Ooh.
My mom is not one of the singers.
Damn, Dream. She can't let people know. Yeah, and I really am her mother. Yeah, and she really did come from me. I love you, girl.
I love you too.
I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me in the chair.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dream always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I'm going to share with you a dream of mine. I would love to be on Sesame Street. Sesame Street held my hand through childhood. In my dream, I would be in my big afro or rainbow braids sitting on the stoop sharing hair stories. I would like your help, please, by doing all the things like leave a review, share it with someone who would benefit from hearing this episode. And if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone at Sesame Street, share your favorite episode with them, and I'll make you some of my famous chocolatey hot chocolate. I hope you have a beautiful day, or if you are like me, still up in the middle of the night, I hope you take a deep breath and rest. Love you. Talk to you later.
The chair.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Dream, hello. I just wanted to tell you you're wonderful. I just got through going through your podcast. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Keep it up. Maybe I need to send it to Oprah and Tyler Perry. Love you, baby. You are great.
Where we share stories in the chair.